Greetings of the day, dear parents, and here I am once again to bring two concerns to your notice. We have always worked with the genuine interest that we have around with the children, and we always have been transparent about whatever we've been doing in the school with all of you out there. Because of the kind of a trust that you have built upon us, we would also want to have that kind of a genuine working atmosphere at school. So whenever we are working, we need to have that kind of a freedom in heart and in mind that we are working only with one sole purpose, to bring about this cherishing future that is there and given to our care. So children are in our hands, your children are in our hands, so they become our children also, and we do not want to hide anything from you. So that is where I want to bring about these two concerns back home there, wherever you are watching. This is something that you have to watch as a family, parents. So make your children sit with you while you're watching this video. You can play it in your TVs also, and sit as a family and listen to this. The first point that I'll have to bring to you is, for the last 1 month, it really has been hectic on us, where we were trying to fill in those little gaps that have come because of the two pandemic years that children were away from school, and we did not have too much of a physical collaborative work as such. So we were all on a virtual mode, and we know there were certain gaps that we were trying to fill in for the last 2 months, and I'm sure you would also know. So we were working on these gaps, especially like when it comes to the physical gap. A lot of children as well as teachers were exhausted coming to work and taking up that work from morning 8 o'clock to evening 4 o'clock. So it was not easy on us. It has been hectic, both for the children and the teachers community. And we were really working hard to see that the ends were being pulled together. So that is where we stood. And we have seen a lot of children becoming tired very fast and quickly. And by the mid of the afternoon, they were kind of exhausted. And some of them came gaining a lot of energy, so to put them to track was also a difficult thing for the teachers. So we saw a lot of them falling sick too. So that is where we all stood. That is from the physical aspect. When it comes from when we watched them through the academic point of view, we did see that there were quite a big number of gaps that had happened during the last 2 years. When I tell you, you will also understand where these gaps were. During the virtual process, the listening and the speaking skills developed really well. I'm not just talking about English or any kind of a language, but I'm just talking in general, because languages are a mode of expression for the other subjects also. So you will have to understand that listening and speaking skills have developed really well. But when it comes to reading and when it comes to writing, yes, they were lacking a lot. I do not know, during the virtual mode of education, children had a laid back attitude and they did not want to finish any kind of writing work that has been given by their teachers, but we did face that kind of a challenge. So we started working on all those, and we started building up those gaps, and we are working on children, their classes, and getting to understand where they stand academically also. So for that reason, I want to bring this observation to you, that where you could also help the little children to understand how they would fill their gap. The one gap that they have is right now, as I told you, is reading and writing. So any lesson that has been taught or that is being dealt in the class, parents, I request you to sit with your children, or at least give them that kind of an assignment back at home, beginning from grade 1 to grade 10, also to open their books and read the lessons as many times as possible. When I said as many times as possible, it has to be minimum to 3 to 4 times. So the first time could be just a reading that is happening through the lesson. They could start off from point number 1 to point number 10 or 100 if that lesson contains as many points as I said, 100. So you can allow them to read that once and get the content of it. And the second time when they're reading, they could read it just with a little bit of a care. And the third time when they're reading, they can start marking and making points across in the readers in itself, so they get familiarized with the words or the vocabulary or the important points of that particular lesson. So I would come to you with this kind of a request, where you would give them time to read their lessons. Reading is not studying again. Reading is just reading through it, glancing through it. So we should understand that kind of a difference. So even if children are lying down in their bed, they can just read one of the sciences lessons or social studies lessons and do that kind of a vigorous reading as of now. And that will help them a lot through the academic year. And during these short vacations, whenever you have 2 or 3 days of vacations, whatever that they have read, if they can just scribble down the points that they have read, because by that time they're very familiar with the lesson. So if they can write it down, I think that will be of great help for the little children. So in between, when we are getting these short vacations, I would request you to put children into this kind of a work, and so that will reflect here in the classes. And in the classes, we can be really quick in presenting and giving away their lessons. That will be of a great benefit. That is one area of concern. That is the first point that I wanted to bring to your notice. The second area of concern that we are facing right now with the children here at school is maybe this could be one of those reasons I'm diagnosing, but then there could be some other reasons also. Children staying back home, and as families, when you had stayed back home, when we had a lot of time, I think we have seen a lot of web series, I should say, or English movies, I should say. Whatever the reason might be, I'm telling you, children have gotten into a habit of using very abusive language and also showing abusive signs. Completely not allowed, parents. No. It's a big no. It is a very big no. If you are using it back at home, you will have to snub this activity right away. We cannot, as a society, accept abusive language. For some of those kids, it is just fun. Can you even imagine? For some of them, it is just because of their ignorance. And for some of them, it is to express their anger. There are so many other ways that we can actually express ourselves to the others that are there right in front of us, but not this. And I'm telling you, I'm coming home there and telling you, as a school, it is time that we take a serious action against this. What action? I will let you know, or you will get to know if this continues. And if you can help these children to stop using this kind of a language and sign, it'll be really good. Because once when I take the action, you will also understand the seriousness of having integrity in the families and in individuals to live in a society that we are living in. It is so important at this point of time, and you will have to take care of this. I already have certain names with me. This time, I'm pardoning them. You won't believe this habit has developed with children as young as grade 4s. Can you even imagine what damage that we have created into our society? It could be nice in your corporate offices, but not in schools, because this is one school that trains children for discipline, for character, and carrying these kind of good values into their future. So beware of it, parents and children. I will not excuse anybody for this. So these two concerns that I badly wanted to come to you, telling you that this is where we stand as a school, and I'm sure you will understand. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good time ahead. Thank you. Bless you.